Welcome back to Young Tripp Reactions. Now we're getting ready to get into the verdict for Karmelo Anthony. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Young Tripp family. Also, if you have any videos that you run across that you feel that fit the channel that you want to hear me react to, post it in the community tab or send me a direct message over on Instagram. Also, come follow me over on Instagram because I post over there as well too. Also, if you have any videos that you run across that you want to hear me react to or whatnot, post it in my community tab or send it to me over on Instagram. Also, if you have anything going on that you want awareness brought to, or anything that your family is going through that you feel isn't getting enough coverage, obviously based off of things like you've seen on the channel, send me a direct message on Instagram and we can talk about it and set up something where I can bring awareness to it as well too. I can also bring you on to the channel and let you talk or whatever as well too. Also, come follow me over on Instagram because I post over there as well too. My Instagram will be spelled out in the pinned comment, but the link to hit to go straight to my Instagram without typing it in will be in the link in the description for anybody who's like disabled or just don't want to type it in. Now let's get ready to get into this sentence.
Let me interrupt you. The verdict is in. It is 35 years is the sentence, not under passion. 35-year sentence for Karmelo Anthony, eligible for parole after serving half of that time.
So he has to serve half of 35 years before he is eligible for any type of parole. Now, let me get into what I was saying in the previous video that I just shot before shooting this one. Would they have given Austin Metcalf 35 years? 35 years if he stabbed Karmelo Anthony? That's what most people, especially African American people or anybody of color, is wondering. Would they have given him 35 years just like how they just gave him 35 years? I don't think so. I think they would have instantly tried to, try to make it seem like it was something passion and all that and all this other stuff they're talking about. And they would have gave him 5 or 10 years or 15 years. 5 is the minimum. I believe that they would have gave him 5. If they would not have gave him 5, they would have gave him 10. If they didn't want to give him 10, then they would have gave him 20. And they would have not have went any higher than that. That is my opinion on it. But because Karmelo Anthony stabbed him, and he's a white guy, so they gave him 35 years. You stabbed somebody who looked like us? Oh, heck no. You can go do whatever you want to do to your own people and we'll give you a reasonable sentence, but you ain't going to do that to people who look like us. Absolutely not. And we're going to make an example out of you, and gave him 35 years. Now, I may play a video from Willie D regarding an attorney talking about a little bit more about the whole situation and about the 35 years and all that. But I think that there definitely was trying to make an example out of Karmelo Anthony and telling people it don't matter if the person who's Caucasian is trying to kill you, just let them kill you. Just let them unalive you. It doesn't matter. You just sit there and take it and just go away because you black. And so we don't care about you no way. Get on up out of here. Because black people are just the scum of the earth. That's what it seems like based off of this type of sentence. based off of what the attorney said in the video that I played of Willie D, and he was an African American brother. He wasn't some person where you would think he's being racist. And he's in Texas with Willie D. And he was, like I said, breaking down like the Texas laws and stuff. And when he got done breaking it down, and after I listened to it, I believe, okay, yeah, I even said from the beginning, as if you remember from my other videos, that I said that he was probably going to be found guilty, and that you can't just unalive people because they're trying to tell you to get out of their tent. You can just ignore them. And Austin Metcalf should have went and got a coach or somebody, him and his brother, in the first place. So that's my explaining of that. However, just like the guy said, it does, just because somebody keep trying to push on you and trying to get you to get out of a tent does not mean that you can pull out a sword of justice and poke somebody and then scream self-defense. Because one, you don't go to school there, you're in their tent, and because he didn't, put you in harm's way, pushing you, as the attorney said, does not give you a right to pull out a sword of justice and use it to unalive somebody because they pushed you. They have to be putting your life completely at risk, where you feel like there's no other option but for you to use the sword of justice. And obviously, Karmelo Anthony was not in that situation, and the jury felt that he wasn't either. And this is the thing that I was worried about anyway, that they weren't going to look at it that way. And that's why I said that he was going to be found guilty. I said that in my previous videos, that he was going to be found guilty. But I thought that maybe they would find some things that would say, maybe he shouldn't receive a very serious, harsh sentence. I thought maybe 10, 15 years, maybe 22 and a half, kind of like what they gave Derek Chauvin, or something like that. And the thing is that's so crazy is he poked somebody one time with a sword of justice and got 35 years. Derek Chauvin sat on somebody's neck while they were begging for their life for 22 and got 22 and a half years in prison. And he sat on somebody's neck for 10 minutes and 29 seconds. And so many people still think he should be walking the streets, which is insane and crazy. But those same people who want Derek Chauvin walking the streets after sitting on somebody's neck for 10 minutes and 29 seconds want Karmelo Anthony to be convicted to serve life because you're racist. And that's the only reason why you would want that. Why you would want somebody who's 19 years old to be sentenced to life in prison, and you want a cop who should have definitely known better, who got a little bit of a lighter, more sentence and got 22 and a half years for sitting on somebody's neck until they died, when Karmelo Anthony just poked somebody once and just happened to hit him through an artery, and now that person is no longer here. And now all of a sudden you say, well, he should be walking the streets, but he should have life. The only reason that would make you say that is color of skin, right? Because you don't like black people. There's no other reason. Because to me, what Derek Chauvin did was 20 times worse. Now, we're talking about two different states, Minnesota versus Texas. So, yeah. Let's continue, though. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification and join the Young Tripp family.
So, for passion, 35-year sentence for Karmelo Anthony, eligible for parole after serving half of that time. So,
wow.
there There is the sentence.
What's your reaction?
There's the sentence. Wow. Again, I'm coming from a unique perspective. I was a prosecutor. I have prosecuted people that have killed people, that have harmed children, that have harmed babies. I have defended people that have killed multiple people. I have a death penalty case that I'm a part of right now, and I will tell you. In my 17 years, I think these set of facts, a jury coming to the conclusion that 35 years in prison is an appropriate sentence.
This portable AC cools any room in 90 seconds and uses almost no electricity. All air conditioners have the same fundamental flaw, and we fixed it. You see, every AC on the market relies on this.
Is quite incredible. It's quite incredible. A jury coming to the conclusion that 35 years in prison is an appropriate sentence is quite incredible. It's quite incredible. I'm slightly blown away. I will tell you that it's important that we always remember here in Texas that you have a range of punishment. The range of punishment for a murder conviction is anywhere from 5 years to 99 years or life. And regardless of the sentence that you receive, in the state of Texas, you are required to serve half of your sentence or 30 years, whichever is less. Mm-hmm. So in this particular instance, he's sentenced to 35 years. Before he becomes eligible for parole, he will have to serve half of that sentence. What is that, 16 and a half years, 17 and a half years?
Roughly 17 and a half.
Before.
Yeah. And that may very well have been the age of Austin Metcalf when this happened in 2025.
I think that
17.
I think you're right about that, Sean.
Absolutely. I'm actually surprised differently. I again felt like it was going to be longer. I just did, based on, I know Bill Worski was asking.
What he called for.
Yeah. He didn't give them a number. He didn't assign a number in his closing statements in the punishment phase, but he impressed on them that it should be lengthy, that it should be long, that we have to send the message of we're not going to tolerate senseless violence in our community. He talked to those jurors about them coming together as a community to do the right thing, to serve justice. He put on those jurors the idea that they were up about them coming together as a community to do the right thing, to serve justice. He put on those jurors the idea that they were upholding the standard for the community. And so I thought it might be longer. I hope we get to hear from the jury foreman or one of the jurors at some point to know what they were thinking and what they went through in that moment. So I hope we get to hear from the jury foreman or one of the jurors at some point to know what they were thinking and what they went through in that moment. So I guess the word is now spreading to those outside of the courthouse.
It does look like people are looking somber. They're looking very, very astonished.
Those are some
Why are we
leaving
seeing
the courtroom. I have no idea who those people are. I don't believe they're any active part of what we're experiencing here. This could very well be some media. Again, there are media from everywhere in McKinney for this.
Yes. I mean, it hit, obviously, the national news. And I just want to make one comment about one of the things that jurors are instructed to do as it relates to assessing punishment. Obviously, it's a standard prosecution argument in punishment to say, this is our community, sort of don't stand for senseless violence or whatever it is in our community. This is where we live and all that. Send a message to, this defendant and the community at large and all that kind of stuff. And that's a standard prosecution argument. But the other thing that a jury is also told is during those jury instructions, when they're being read to the jury, they are told that they cannot consider, they can understand the existence of parole law, but they cannot consider it as they contemplate an appropriate sentence. So in other words,
What about like considering somebody's race? Like, oh, the victim was Caucasian, so we're gonna make an example out of this black guy that killed him. Right, even though they'll say, oh, yeah, we're not supposed to consider that. Oh, we're not gonna consider that. But what if they secretly are? Those are the things, and that's the problem. That's why he's gonna be able to file an appeal and probably have it granted, because they exited out all the black people. So that's the thing that's going to hurt the prosecution. You may have to prosecute this whole case all over again because you wanted to put all the people in there that you knew that will find him guilty the way you wanted him to find him guilty. Because maybe if you had a black juror in there, maybe he would have still been found guilty, but maybe he would have gotten 19 years. Or like I said earlier, 22 and a half years, similar to like Chauvin, or something like that. But we'll see what his defense team decides to do. He'll probably get a new lawyer. I know there's been some people talking about that he probably should. Let's continue, though.
It's interesting to me that they can understand the existence of parole law, but they cannot consider it as they contemplate an appropriate sentence. So in other words, it's interesting to me that it's 35 years, and that half of that, which is what he would be required to serve before he's eligible for parole, is about 17 and a half years, and that is likely the age, right, that Mr. Metcalf was when he passed away. I wonder whether or not that jury, even though they were instructed, they may have taken that into consideration.
I certainly think that's a possibility of the age piece. To me, it seems to be, I seem to recall he was that age, 17 for sure, and perhaps very close to 17 and a half. That's why we hope to hear from the jurors. There seems to be some commotion here outside. And we see several sheriff's department vehicles and a crowd there.
Are they reacting to this? Is someone speaking about this?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Phones are up. Somebody must.
Yeah, someone is talking.
At this moment.
Who is it, though?
We can't see who that
It's
person is.
difficult to see.
Let me see how long this is, y'all. Give me a minute. Okay, it's almost about over. Because I want to get to another video.
And so, at this moment, what happens as you are the attorney, Reed West, first tell us, as the defense attorney, you're talking to your client and their family, or you're preparing to meet the media, or what? Go ahead, Clarice.
Yeah, we see that woman in pink. She's the one who's speaking, that they're listening to and recording. Okay.
Oh, and I will say that I've seen her. She's been at the court a number of days. She certainly was there when I was there. So I don't know if she is someone that was one of the first ones to come out after the verdict was read and is perhaps delivering some of the information. But yes, Sean, as it relates to where things are right now, this is a devastating blow to a defense team, right? This is probably not what they would have expected, certainly not what they were arguing for. And so this family and your client are, were hit with a huge sentence. And so you are spending time with them. They are your priority. His mom, his dad, and certainly Karmelo Anthony as your client. That is your priority. That is who you're talking to. You're also talking about what are the next steps, right? Because obviously punishment is imposed. He's serving he will begin serving his sentence right now. But at the same time, there are steps after this, right? We have to file a motion for new trial to make sure that if there's anything that we can capture during the course of this trial that was done wrong, we can preserve that error. We have to file our notice of appeal.
Like striking all the colored people and making him have an all-white jury who would say, oh, Austin looks like my son. Oh, yeah, let's convict him. Let's give him 35 years. Yeah. Yep. Like, yeah, an appeal like that. Let's continue.
Appeal, because if there's anything that we can capture during the course of this trial that was done wrong, we can preserve that error. We have to file our notice of appeal, because if there are things to appeal, we have a time frame under which we want the courts to know that that's what our intention is. And so you're having a discussion about what are our next steps, and you're obviously encouraging your client. And I've been in this position before. I've been doing defense work for a number of years. You're also encouraging your client not to give up hope, right? That there is hope still. They have to keep their head up, that this is not over, and that you have to keep pressing forward.
Onyx off-road trails aren't just lines on a map.
Advertisement.
They're mapped by real humans. See trail difficulty.
Yeah, kind of like the lady was just saying that, you know, she's been a prosecutor and a defense attorney. Yeah, he got to keep his head up. His family, his mom, his dad got to keep their head up. And the attorney, I'm sure, will start filing appeals, and I'm sure he'll add another attorney or switch her to somebody else and get a new attorney or whatever he feels is best, and whatever his family also thinks is best, because you still got to remember he is only 19, and it's a shame that he is going to have to go through this. I don't know. Prayers go out to him, the Metcalf family, and let me know what y'all think about this. I'll have the original video pinned to the top of the chat and in a link in the description. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Young Tripp family. Also, if you have any videos that you feel that fit the channel, post it in my community tab or send it to me over on direct message on Instagram. Also, my Instagram will be spelled out in the pinned comment. You can copy and paste it into Instagram. My link to hit it to just go straight to my Instagram without typing it in will be in the link in the description. Also, if you have anything that you run across, any viral videos or anything like that, or anything that you want to hear me react to, post it in the community tab or send it to me over on Instagram. If there's anything personally going on with you that you want awareness brought to, send me a direct message on Instagram. We can talk about it. I can take a peek at it, research it, look into it, talk to you about it, and see if it's something that I feel is worth bringing attention to. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Young Tripp family, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.